1 says, find the prime factorization of 35. Find the prime factorization of 35. So, for this one, you have your own method. I showed you the method using the factor tree. So write your first 5 prime, 2, 3, 5, 7, and 11. And which one of these divides into 35? That's okay, 5 and 7. Those two are prime, so my prime factors are 5 times 7. Do we need to do another one of those? No. Number 2. Find the GCF of 4m to the 4th and 34m squared. And once again, this one I usually showed you beginning with your first 5 prime. So if I was to get my prime factorization of 4, that's 2 times 2. Prime factorization of 34, that's 2 times 17. And m to the 4th could be factored out as m times m times m times m. M to the 2nd could be factored out as m times m. Remember that? And then if we did this using the Venn diagram. However, we moved away from it. I was just showing you how to get the GCF. Remember that? So what is common here and here? A 2 and 2 m's. So that means our GCF is 2m to the 2nd. Okay? Number 3. Factor the polynomial 14b to the 5th plus 30b to the 4th minus 12b to the 3rd. Okay? So, first step for any factoring, this is including binomials and polynomials. What did we say? First one is to check for what? GCF. Remember, GCF is your BFF from now on. Yes? So before you call your BFF or text them, check for GCF. Yes? All right, so here we go. So what's my GCF here? 2b to the 3rd. If you don't see it, make sure you factor out, right? When in doubt, factor out. So make sure you factor out the b's. B to the 5th is b 5 times multiplied by 12. This is b to the 4th. And this is b to the 3rd, so that you can visualize it and see what is repeated in all 3 terms. B to the 3rd. That's where we got that one out. So let's simplify. 14 divided by 2, 7. What's left if we took out the b to the 3rd? B squared. Plus 30 divided by 2, 15. And we're left with b. And negative 12 divided by 2, that's negative 6. And we took out already the b to the 3rd. Okay. So step 1, GCF. Step 2, check for patterns. Can we take the square root of the first term in here? No. So therefore, it's not a perfect square trinomial. However, is it still a quadratic trinomial? Yes. So let's try and go to the next step, which is factoring. Open 2 parentheses. Get your Power Ranger going. So we got, let's see, what goes on top? 7 times negative 6, that's negative 42. And what goes as the sum, the middle term, which is 15. So let's start thinking about our factors of 42. Let's see, factors of 42. We got 1 times 42, 2 times 21, 3 times, is it 14? 3 times 14, about 4, 5, 6 times 7, and then they repeat. Does any of those pairs of factors add up or subtract to 15? No. So then you box this, and you just write factored. Everybody got it? Okay. All right, let's do another one. Number 4. Example 4. Factor 9, open parentheses, m minus 6, close parentheses, minus 5 times, open parentheses, m minus 6, close parentheses. And it looks like they already did a lot of work for us. All we need to do is simplify it. Is that correct? So what do you notice is the same in this term and in this term? M minus 6, so we write that down. M minus 6, we factor it out. And what do we have left on this first term? 9. And on the second term, minus 5m. And that's it. Factored. Number 5, am I going too fast or are we good? All right, number 5, here we go. Factor 15x cubed minus 9x squared minus 25x plus 10. And it says by grouping, by grouping. Okay, so the last person to help me was Quentin. Quentin, tell me who to help me out on this one. Oh, Jose. Who do you want to get me started with this? No, choose someone. Luis. Oh, first two and the last two, okay. Okay, before that, don't forget when you group the second two and there's a negative as a lead coefficient, make sure you add a plus outside. Okay, so like that you can differentiate that there's two different terms going on, right? Okay, so what's our GCF for this one? Three x squared, and what do we have left? Okay, pass it to someone else to do the next part. Pete? Five. However, the leading coefficient has a, so therefore it's negative 5. What do we have left? Okay, pass it to someone else. Luis? Oh, minus 2, my bad. Oh, not my bad, it's Pete's bad. Okay. All right, minus 2. Oh, you were testing me. All right. Thank you, Pete. All right, Luis. What's the same here and here? Right, but 5x is part of this binomial right here, right? This factor. But is this exactly the same as this? Can we factor that out? No, unless they are what? Exactly the same. Is that correct? So then we're done. You just box this and you write factored. Be careful with these, because notice on the previous one, everybody look up to the screen. On this previous one, they did give us that both terms had a factor in common, which was n minus 6 and n minus 6. That's why we were able to factor it out. But when we encounter something like this, some of us, check this out. I'm not saying you guys. I'm saying for some other people, they might get confused and say, and go really fast and say 5x minus 3 and 5x minus 2. Oh, I'll just factor this and write 5x minus 3. And then they write the other one as 3x squared minus 5 because that's what was left. Is that correct? No, because this is not the same as that. Everybody with me? So just be careful with those. I'm just saying, just in case it's in the party. Number 6. Copy this one down, please. Factor 12x cubed minus 16x squared plus 12 minus 3x. See if you can do that one. I'll give you time to start. All right, let's see. Luis, pass it to someone. Jose. Okay, tell me what to do. Okay, so we rewrite this and we get 12x cubed minus 16x squared minus 3x plus 12. Hands if you did that move, please. Okay? Pass it to someone. Group them, okay? So he said group these two and these two. If we group the second one and there's a negative, what do? Write a little plus outside. Don't forget that. Pass it to someone, Pete. Luis? Okay, GCF? And what do we have left? Okay, pass it to someone else. Jose? Which is? GCF is -3, and we're left with? Okay, pass it to someone else. Luis? Who said it's factored already? That is correct. This is where it gets interesting for some of us. Check this out. Doesn't this look very similar to this? And it's going to play a trick on you thinking that you made a mistake. But you didn't. You did the right thing. GCF, do it step by step. If there's nothing in common, then you just box it and you're done. Factored. Okay, let's go to the next one, number 7. Factor the trinomial, m squared plus 8m plus 12. Okay, choose someone, please. Pete. Parentheses. Power Ranger. 12 on the top. 8 on the bottom. Two times 6. M plus 2 times M plus 6. Hands if you got that. Okay. Make sure, I know some of us already can go about doing these very easily, but for those of us that need to follow the steps, don't skip the step to factor this one right after we begin. Yes.
Why don't you break it down and then do m squared plus 2x plus 6x and then do that?
You could do grouping if you want. Like on this one, the reason I don't want to do the grouping part because it takes an extra step. You will get the same answer. Everybody with me? You can still do the same thing. Instead of 8m, what would we write? 2m plus 6m. Does everybody see that? But we usually do the grouping, everybody look up please, when we have a leading coefficient greater than 1. Everybody with me? All right. Let's do another one, number 8. Factor 3x squared minus x minus 10. 3x squared minus x minus 10. Pete, pass that to someone. Luis? Okay, so he said open parentheses, but he forgot to ask for his BFF, right? Do we have a GCF? No, so that's why we open this up. However, let's check for a pattern first before we get there. What is square root of 3x squared? None, so therefore that's where we go to that step, okay? So what else, Luis? 3 times negative 10, that's okay. Pass it to someone. Jose. Okay, 5 and negative 6. Okay, for those of you that didn't see that, pretty much he rewrote this. Instead of the negative x, he goes to here and writes 5x and minus 6x. then continues with a negative 10. Pass it to someone. Pete. Group. Okay. Don't forget, once again, for the second one, if it has a negative, what goes outside? A plus. Okay. All right. So what's our GCF here, Pete? X, and we're left with 3x plus 5. GCF for this one? Negative 2, and we're left with 3x plus 5. Pass it to someone. Luis? First one is 3x plus 5, x minus 2. X minus 2. Box that, and it's factored. Okay. Number 9. Factor negative 3x squared minus 26x minus 16. Factor negative 3x squared minus 26x minus 16. Okay, Luis, pass it to someone. Pete. You said that GCF is negative 1. So we're left with 3x squared plus 26x plus 16. So from there, Pete, could we check for a pattern? Okay, so what is square root of 3x squared? There is none. So what do? Power Rangers, you open 2 parentheses. What goes on top? $48. And underneath, 26. Pass it to someone. Luis. 2 times 24, that's 48. 2 plus 24, that's 26. And what do we do from there, Luis? So rewrite this, 3x squared plus 2x plus 24x plus 16. Pass it to someone. Jose. Okay. So what's our GCF here? X. And what do we have left? Okay. How about here? 4. It's a plus right there. And what do we have left? Plus 4. Okay. Doesn't that look kind of weird? Okay. Roberto? GCF is 8. 8. So therefore we're left with what, Roberto? Okay. And what do I do from there, Roberto? 3x plus 2 goes here, okay. X plus 8. And then don't forget about the friend that gets there at the end. There it is. All right, and this is factored. Yes, question. Note, when the LC, what does that mean? Leading coefficient has a negative, comma, factor it out. Anytime, whether the rest of them are positive or negative, if the leading one has a negative, factor it out. Okay? It wouldn't affect the problem because if you do the multiplication, you're still going to get here a negative, a positive 48. Watch. What is negative 3 times negative 16? Positive 48. This is going to be a negative, but you're going to be working with negatives throughout. Yeah, so therefore, when you get to this point, when you get the binomials, you're still going to be able to get a GCF of a negative 1 at the end. So, yeah, it's still factorable, but you're going to be working with negatives throughout. Okay? Let's go to the next one, number 10. It says, determine whether 16x squared plus 24x plus 9 is a perfect square. If so, factor it. If not, explain why. Okay? Once again, copy that. 16x squared plus 24x plus 9. And if you want to abbreviate for this one, just write perfect square and with a question mark and copy the polynomial and check. So let's see, Roberto, pass it to someone. Pete. Pete says need to square roots the first and the last term. Let's see, to check, didn't he skip the BFF? Do we have a GCF? No, that's why he went straight to check with the square roots. What is square root of 16x squared? 4x, square root of the last term. 3. What is 4x times 3? 12x, and if we double that, does that give us our middle term? Yes, if it does, then it is a perfect square. So my factors are 4x plus 3 squared. Hands if you got that by yourself. Okay? Let's do another one. Number 11. Determine whether 25p squared minus 81y squared is a difference of 2 squares. If so, factor it. If not, explain. Once again, if you want to label this one difference of squares and then copy the binomial and then put the difference of squares in the question mark. You want to check for that. 25p squared minus 81y squared. Pete, choose someone. Luis. Okay, so Luis says GCF is 1, so forget about it. So he's going to check for square roots. So 5p. 9y, and it's a what? A difference. So these are squares, and it's a difference. So what are my factors? 5p plus 9y and 5p minus 9y. And we're done. Number 12, copy this one. Tell whether the polynomial 6y squared times y squared minus 9 is completely factored. For this one, if you don't write the whole thing, just write completely factored with a question mark, and then write this expression, 6y squared times y squared minus 9. Okay, I'll give you a little bit of time to look at it, see if it's completely factored. Go. Who was the last one? Oh, Luis, pass to someone. Jose. Okay, so as I said, since I'm going to check, they're saying that this is a GCF, 6y squared. He wants to check if there's another GCF. There isn't, so therefore he goes to the next thing, which is checking a pattern, which is difference of squares. So he's going to check if this is a difference of squares. What do we do? Of minus 3, okay? So what are our factors? Y minus 3 times y plus 3. And you bring down the friend, 6y squared, and now it's factored. Hands if you got that by yourself. Okay, good. Number 13. Factor the polynomial 18x cubed plus 21x squared plus 6x, and it says factor it completely, which means just go through all your steps. 18x cubed plus 21x squared plus 6x. All right, let's get started. Pass it to someone, Jose. Pete. GCF. So let's see. What is our GCF for each of these terms? 3x. What do we have left? 6x squared plus 7x plus 2. Pass that to someone. Jose? There's no GCF inside. So open parentheses and Power Rangers. Why the Power Rangers? Because it has a leading coefficient greater than 1. Okay? So our product is 12. And the 7 on the bottom. Pass it to someone to get us the other factors. Luis? 3 and 4. Okay, tell me what else to do right there. Rewrite it. 6x squared plus 3x plus 4x plus 2. Pass it to someone. Pete? Group. GCF is 3x. And we're left? 2x plus 1. And what's our GCF for the second one? Plus 2. And we're left with 2x plus 1. And what do we have at the end? 2x plus 1. And 3x plus 2. And don't forget about the friend. Here they come. And now it's factored. Okay? Hands if you got that by yourself. Okay? Number 14. 14. It says, the amount of paint to cover a wall is proportional to its area. And the wall is rectangular, has an area of 4x squared plus 4x. So pretty much for these, I'll get it started. You need to draw a wall. There it is. Oh, really? There it is. And it's a rectangle. Yes? You guys see it? All right. And then it says the area is how much? 4x squared plus 4x. And they want us to find the dimensions for the length and the width. That's someone, Pete. Jose? How can we find the length and width? Find the GCF. Very good. So what is the GCF for these two? 4x for this length. And what is the width? Let's see. If we factored 4x from here, what's left? X plus 1. So the length was 4x. And what is the width? X plus 1. And that is, did they give us feet? No, that's it. Make sure you write a little statement. All right. Make sure you work on those study guides over the weekend. You have the study guide A and B. The only one I didn't go over was number 15. I'll do that one at the end and upload the video. Okay. The party is on Tuesday when we're coming back. So make sure you have study guides. So therefore, study guides. Yes. Have a good one. See you guys on Tuesday. Once again, homework are the study guides. Study guides A and B. And number 15, it says, a square piece of fabric has an area of 16x squared plus 40x plus 25 square inches. So for this one, you don't need to copy all these words. You already have the study guide. So what I do want you to copy is the square. Is it let's see, a square piece of fabric. So draw a square. I'm going to go ahead and draw a square. There it is. And the area of the square is what? What did it say? 16. Oh, wow. Really? The area of the square is 16x squared plus 40x plus 25. And the measurement for that area is in square inches. So I'm just going to write inches squared. And it says, the length of each side should be written like this. Everybody look up. Cx plus c, which implies a binomial. Is that correct? So that means I need to have a binomial here and a binomial right here. So let's do that first part. In order to get these dimensions, that means I need to factor this area out. Is that correct? So what did they tell us? Everybody write this down. Write the word square piece. Square piece. Right there, they're giving you a clue. What are they telling us? That this trinomial is a what? A square, a perfect square. And how do we know how to factor perfect squares? Square root of the first term. What is the square root of the first term? 4x. What is the square root of the last term? 5. And let's see if the pattern works. What is 4 times 5? 20. Double that? 40. Does it give us 40x? Yes. That means the dimensions for this square are 4x plus 5 and 4x plus 5. Why did I write the same thing? Because it's a what? A square piece. Everybody following? Okay, let's do the second part. It says, find an expression for the perimeter of the fabric. So to find the perimeter, what do I need to do to any figure? Add all sides. How many sides does this one have? 4. So don't we just multiply this 4 times? Okay, so it's 4 times what? 4x plus 5. So let's write our expression for the perimeter. So all we have to do is what? Distribute. So we're left with, let's see, the perimeter is 16x plus 20. So far so good? And let's do the last part. It says, then find the perimeter when x is 5. So instead of x here, what are we going to substitute? 5. So here we open parentheses of 5 and bring everything else down. P equals 16 times 5 plus 20. So let's see, what is 16 times 5? That's 50, and then 6 times 5, that's 30. So 50 plus 30, that's 80. Bring down the plus 20, the equals and the P. So the perimeter of this square is what? 100. And what was the unit of measure that they used? Inches. Now for the perimeter, we don't write square. That's only for what? Areas. Is that correct? So your answers are here. Check this out. This is what I need for this problem. Number 1, you need to make sure you factor it. So I need this and this. That's step 1. Step 2, I need an expression for the perimeter, which is this one right here. Everybody look up. The little star. This is the second part. And what is the third part? To find the perimeter once you substitute the value in. So that's 3 parts. So let's see. First part, factored. Second part, write an expression for the perimeter. And third part, you substitute and get the perimeter in inches. Is that correct? So how many parts do you see? 3. So make sure you label all your parts and you get that done for that problem. Okay? All right. And by the way, the homework, once again, for the weekend, you're going to have the front side of that is study guide A, the back side is study guide B. The one that is being done right now, that's study guide C. But the examples are very similar. So all you have to do, if you have any questions, go to the YouTube channel and watch it online. Okay? All right. Have a good one. Enjoy your homework.